In a nearly 3-hour hearing, the January 6th committee laid out step by step what was going on with then Vice President Mike Pence in the weeks and days before January 6th, but also for the first time where he was as the rioters were shouting, "Hang Mike Pence," just 40 feet away from his Capitol hiding place. The hearing included live testimony from Pence's then counsel and a former federal appeals court judge who is a prominent conservative legal voice, but also included testimony again from Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, Trump White House insiders, and Vice President Pence's chief of staff. The committee laid out how a lawyer who was advising then President Trump, Dr. John Eastman, came up with this idea that the vice president did have the power to either suspend the electoral vote count in Congress for 10 days and send things back to the states, or the vice president had the power to outright reject electoral votes, an idea that has no basis in the law or Constitution, according to both witnesses.
John, back in 2000, you weren't jumping up and saying Al Gore had this authority to do that. You would not want Kamala Harris to be able to exercise that kind of authority in 2024 when I hope Republicans will win the election, and I know you hope that too, John. And he said, absolutely. Al Gore did not have a basis to do it in 2000. Kamala Harris shouldn't be able to do it in 2024, but I think you should do it today.
There was no basis in the Constitution or laws of the United States at all for the theory espoused by Mr. Eastman, at all.
Pence's counsel, Greg Jacobs, also testified that Eastman admitted to him that he knew what he was suggesting would not withstand scrutiny by any federal judge, including the Supreme Court. But even so, on January 7th, Eastman contacted President Trump's White House attorney, trying to again gather evidence to challenge the electoral count.
But I don't want to hear any other effing words coming out of your mouth, no matter what, other than orderly transition. Repeat those words to me. And I figured that eventually he said orderly transition. I said, good, John. Now I'm going to give you the best free legal advice you're ever getting in your life. Get a great effing criminal defense lawyer. You're going to need it.
The committee says after that conversation, Eastman sought a presidential pardon. He never received one, and then pleaded the fifth more than 100 times when being questioned by the committee about his actions. The committee repeatedly praised then Vice President Pence for not caving to the pressure he was receiving, even after several meetings and phone calls with President Trump and after the direct threat against Pence from the rioters. These never-before-seen photos of Pence during the Capitol attack show him in an undisclosed underground location at the Capitol, refusing to leave the building before the vote was certified. Judge Ludick ended the hearing by saying, in his estimation, the threat is not over.
If the former president or his anointed successor as the Republican Party presidential candidate were to lose that election, that they would attempt to overturn that 2024 election in the same way that they attempted to overturn the 2020 election, but succeed in 2024 where they failed in 2020.
We're expecting 2 more hearings from the January 6th committee next week.